Do you want to come over to my place? Those were the words that started everything between the girl and me. She looked like she was just sleeping. It had been a while since I last saw my sister. She quietly closed her eyes, not laughing, not crying, just sleeping in the cold coffin. Seeing her like that, the word passed away vaguely crossed my mind, but she didn't look dead at all. Her expression was so peaceful, it felt unreal. She was still so young, someone murmured sadly. My sister was in her mid-30s. After a period of overwork and irregular living, she suffered a stroke. Her life should have had much more ahead. There must have been so many things she wanted to do, and she must have regretted it the most. What will become of Melanie? Someone's words shifted my gaze to a certain direction. In the far corner of the funeral home, a girl was holding my sister's portrait dearly. That was Melanie, my sister's only daughter. My sister married young and had a child, but her happy marital life didn't last long, and she soon divorced. Are you going to be okay on her own? Back then, our parents were very concerned about her, suggesting she should come back home because of her job and the child from her former husband. Yet she declined with a smile. I'm fine, leave it to me. Even now, thinking back, that line was very much like her. She was exceptionally responsible and family-oriented. That's probably why she said that, not wanting to trouble our parents. True to her word, she raised her daughter Melanie admirably. I hadn't seen Melanie since she was little because my sister was always so busy. When I saw Melanie again after such a long time, she was already a high school student, and I was amazed at how quickly she had grown. What will Melanie do now? Thinking about her future made me feel anxious, as if it were my own business. Mom, what's going to happen to Melanie now? In fact, she's going to a facility. What? I couldn't grasp the words immediately. It might have been the obvious course of action. But since Melanie was already alone and probably feeling lonely, being in an unfamiliar place could make her feel even lonelier. She must have cried a lot. Her eyes were red and swollen, her slender body shaking slightly as she hugged my sister's portrait tightly. Seeing Melanie and my sister's smiling face in the portrait made me want to help her, and before I knew it, I was walking towards her. What are you doing, Carl? I heard my mother's voice calling me, but I couldn't pay attention. Melanie. I stopped in front of her and called her name, and she slowly looked up and stared back at me. Carl. Her voice calling my name was trembling as if she was about to break. I bent down to meet her gaze and spoke gently, Melanie, if you want, would you like to come to my place? Hearing my words, her eyes widened. Carl. What are you saying? My mother hurried over and grabbed my shoulder, but I reassured her and continued, if you really want to go to a facility, then that's fine. But if not, come stay with me. While saying that, I suddenly remembered my sister's dazzling smile that I had seen since I was young. I want to protect this girl for my dearly beloved sister's sake. Melanie was staring at my outstretched hand, hesitating. I waited, not rushing her, letting her make the choice. Yes, I'll go, she said, looking at me with a determined gaze as she gently placed her hand in mine. If Mom could see this, she'd definitely cry. Yeah, I think so too. After that, we convinced my mother and the relatives, and I went back to my house with Melanie. As soon as we entered the room, Melanie sighed with a look of disbelief, glancing around my room. It's fair to say it wasn't in the cleanest state. I should have made time to tidy up before bringing her here. I'd always been bad at organizing, something my sister used to give me a hard time about. And it brings back those memories. Really? You don't care about it? Never changed since the old days, a voice that sounded like my sister's echoed in my head, and I could even see her disapproving, which made me smile as I saw Melanie's face, thinking how much they were like mother and daughter. Carl, don't just stand there, let's clean up. That moment, Melanie handed me a trash bag, and I took it, snapping out of my reverie. Let's get to it. After about 30 minutes of cleaning together, the room, which had been a mess, was quickly tidied up. Then we decided to have a late dinner, opting for simplicity. We ate the junk food I bought on the way home, which Melanie seemed to enjoy, having not eaten it in a while. So, what should we think for beginning this new life? Can you commute to school from here? It's just a different bus route, so I can commute, she replied. I was worried that bringing her here on a whim might inconvenience her, but knowing that eased my concerns. Besides getting a new bus pass, the real challenge starts now. Is there something wrong? Melanie swallowed nervously, showing an anxious face. It's about cooking. Cooking? She didn't seem to understand at first, so I made sure to clarify. I'm not good at cooking, I said it with a serious face, releasing a heavy atmosphere, and she looked at me, blinking in surprise. I wonder if she thought it was odd for someone who's lived alone to say that. Up until now, I've been getting by with fast food or ready-made meals from the supermarket. But with Melanie living with me, it's a different story. It's not great for someone her age to have an unbalanced diet. As I looked down, unable to bear the silence, she suddenly burst out laughing. I hesitantly looked up, and she was shaking with laughter. This is a big deal for me, you know. Eating bought meals every day isn't really good, right? I know, that's true. Her continuing to laugh made me feel embarrassed, yet seeing her smile like that was somewhat reassuring. Mom was right. What do you mean? Mom used to say a lot. Carl is kind and decent looking, but when it comes to cooking, he's really hopeless. She smiled. I was surprised my sister had talked about me like that. I'll do the cooking. If I don't do anything after being brought here, Mom would scold me. Melanie's smile was bright. Simultaneously, her voice sounded pained and sorrowful, which just made my heart ache. I tried not to cry, just like she did, and put on a smile as I said, "Thank you, that would really help. Leave it to me." She flashed a bright smile, so much like my sister's that I almost let the tears spill. But I quickly looked away so Melanie wouldn't notice. Carl, what's wrong all of a sudden? No, it's nothing, just got something in my eyes. If I started crying now, I'd only make her worry unnecessarily. Plus, she's been putting on a brave face with a smile since the funeral, not shedding any tears. I needed to be strong too, I thought. After that, the days went surprisingly smoothly. Good morning, Carl. Turns out Melanie is a morning person. By the time I got up, she had already made breakfast and sandwiches for lunch, which really surprised me at first. Moreover, every dish she made was delicious. She learned from her mother since she was a kid. You're not a morning person, just like Mom. I'd always used to get up early. Actually, not always. But I wanted to seem like a good uncle in front of my niece, so I bragged a bit. Melanie was not only good at cooking, but seemed to be skilled in all household chores, teaching me various things. On days off, sort the laundry by colors to prevent color transfer. Trying not to laugh at her slightly proud posture, I responded, "Yes, Teacher Melanie." Though I was a bit anxious at first about how things would turn out, she was very capable, and all in all, we had fun. More importantly, I found myself feeling reassured by her gradually increasing smiles. Ever since the day I brought Melanie here, I've been reminded of my sister's words over and over. For me, my girl is like. One night, past 1 o'clock a.m., as I was about to go to bed, I noticed light coming from Melanie's room. Huh? What's she doing up at this time? Curious, I peeked into her room and saw her focused on her desk. She was oblivious to my presence, right? She's a high school student, a senior, in the midst of choosing and preparing for college. According to what my mother told me, her grades are among the top in her class. Despite that, she always helps out around the house. Maybe I've been making her worry unnecessarily. That's when an idea struck me. Okay, this is it. It's Melanie who's working hard, and it will be her who faces the outcome, not me. There's not much I can do for her, but that's exactly why there are things I can do. Ouch! Hot water splashed onto my fingertip, the sound echoing in the quiet kitchen. Did Melanie hear that? For a moment, I tensed and expected a reaction, but there was silence. I breathed a sigh of relief. All right, this is good. Later, I visited her room again. After knocking softly a few times, I slowly opened the door. Melanie, startled by the sound, turned around with a jerk. What's up? Seeing the study notes filled with dense text on her desk, I could tell how hard she's been working. May I come in? Sure, given she's a teenager. I asked for permission before stepping into her room. Then, I offered her the tray I was holding. I remember your mom mentioned you like hot chocolate, so here. Melody took the tray, her eyes lighting up at the sight of the hot chocolate and hot dog, her face breaking into a happy smile. Hot chocolate and hot dog. That's an odd combo, right? Yeah, but that's all I could make, and I thought it'd be just right for a late-night snack. You like ketchup, right? I added so much. The hot dog was so simple, but I prepared them with all the love I could muster. Thank you, I'm really happy. This is nothing. Just make sure you don't stay up too late for tomorrow, okay? Got it. I smiled kindly at her and quietly closed the door behind me. By the way, how's living with your niece going? During lunch at the company cafeteria, my coworker Charles, seeing the sandwich Melanie had prepared for me, asked with keen interest. It's going well. She seems busy with her studies lately. Since that day, the light in Melanie's room has often stayed on late into the night. She must be in the critical phase of her exam preparation. I've been quietly rooting for her. Last time I asked, she was about elementary school age. But now she's already that old. But really, it's amazing. It hasn't been long since her mom passed away, and yet she's teaching you household chores as well as cooking for you. She's really mature. I think that's right. I think to myself, I hadn't realized how capable Melanie was until we started living together. When I saw her at the funeral after a long time, her eyes were red and swollen. She must have cried a lot. But since we started living together, I haven't seen her cry even once. Lately, I've been seeing her smile more. She must be trying her best to get through this in her own way. Maybe I'll buy a cake on the way home today. Wow, you sound just like an uncle. Cut it out. I am Melanie's uncle after all. I've been busy with work, and I haven't even been able to properly prepare a midnight snack for her. I feel like I haven't done anything for her. I remember she said she had an important presentation today. Maybe I should get her a little something as a way to say good job. There's a small cake shop near the grocery store, and once when we passed by, I didn't miss Melanie murmuring, "That looks delicious," as she looked at the cakes in the window. I also noticed she was particularly eyeing the chocolate cakes. After work, I hurried to the cake shop and bought various types of chocolate cakes. Looking at the white box, I couldn't help but smile. I wonder how Melanie will react. Imagining her smile, I hurried home. I'm home. Nobody responded. For some reason, the usual greeting wasn't there. What's going on? Wondering, I walked down the hall and noticed a faint light coming from Melanie's room. Maybe she was concentrating on her studies, cooked up in her room. I moved slowly towards it. I was feeling somehow that I needed to be quiet, though it's my own house. With each step closer, faint voices reached my ears, growing louder until I realized it was the sound of crying. My heart clenched. Had Melanie been crying alone in her room that whole time? I believed she was doing so well. I chose to watch over her from afar, believing in her strength. I'm right here for her. What am I doing? I slowly grasped the doorknob and said, "Melanie, I'm coming in, okay?" As I opened the door, Melanie turned around quickly, surprise written all over her face. Tears were rolling down her cheeks. It's not what it seems. Trying to hide her tearful eyes and wet cheeks, she roughly wiped them with the sleeve of her shirt. My heart ached at the sight, and I gently approached and hugged her. It's okay to cry. At my words, her face froze for a moment, then contorted as she began to cry. Her small body leaned into me, and the next moment, she burst into loud sobs, tears streaming down her face. I should have done this for her long ago. Melanie was bearing it all alone, and I took her strength for granted. I felt really sorry. I gently stroked her small head. After crying for a while, she seemed to calm down and started to speak. I've been trying hard with my studies, but after Mom passed away, my grades dropped, and I felt so frustrated. I want to do well for Mom, but it's been hard. I don't know what to do. I wanted to give something back to her. Hearing her earnest feelings, my eyes welled up. I remembered something my sister used to say. Mom always said that you are her treasure. Really, for me, my girl is a treasure. The look on my sister's face when she thought about Melanie was full of love. It was clear how deeply she adored her daughter. You don't have to push yourself too hard. Just by living happily every day, Mom would be happy. And as for studies, there's always a chance to make up for it. You've done your best, and that's enough to repay her. So don't be too hard on yourself. And if you ever find things tough, please talk to me. To me, you are as precious as a treasure. With tears still streaming down her face, Melanie smiled a relieved smile at my words. Thank you, Carl. Maybe I've been forcing myself to put on a brave face, trying not to be a burden. Not at all. You're a great girl, and you've really been a big help. Oh, that's right. I bought some chocolate cake on my way home. Let's eat it together. Yes, I'll eat it. Seeing Melanie's happy face as she ate the cake made me smile too. Our life together is just beginning, but I want to protect her going forward, for my sister in heaven as well. That was the renewed promise I made to myself.